don't keep up with the Joneses next door. One good habit of rich people have is that they don't show off. Young money can be seen from a distance because it is loud and wants to show off. The truly wealthy, however, are deceptively low key.
What is the perfect bite? That mix of flavors, textures, colors, and aromas that come together in one amazing amuse-bouche. Big ideas expressed in small bites. That's our podcast, a variety of inspiring topics to make your financial goals and dreams a reality.
Brought to you by Clark County Credit Union for your weekly serving of food reviews, financial education, and life hacks that your future self will appreciate. It's the perfect bite of interesting information to start your week. Welcome to episode 62 of The Perfect Bite. I'm Crystal Price.
And I'm Shannon Hiller. Let's dig in.
We love trying new dishes here at The Perfect Bite, and today we're talking about Zen Curry Dining. Next, we'll talk about some saving tips from the rich, and finally, for your future self, we'll share several hacks on how to make the most out of your summer vacation with kids.
So each week on The Perfect Bite, we visit a locally owned Southern Nevada restaurant we hope will become your new favorite. And this week we're sharing a spot I visited pretty recently, Zen Curry Dining. It's located on Centennial Parkway near Commerce, and they also have a location on Spring Mountain. So this was near my house. I'd driven by it a million times, and let's just try it. And so you went inside, and it was really open and airy, lots of tables. I was pleasantly surprised at the dining room, and the service was very attentive. They were really nice, and they had suggestions for what to order. Even several Facebook reviews mentioned that everybody was really good with the service staff. And Facebook's brutal out there, so if people on Facebook said that they were nice, this is a good spot. So I ordered the Japanese curry with chicken katsu and a side of grilled veggies, which I definitely recommend to add more color and texture to your plate. If you haven't had Japanese curry, it looks like kind of brown gravy. It's really smooth, and if you just get that with rice, I don't know. I feel like you just need a little bit extra. I'm used to Thai curry where there's like lots of veggies and things like mixed in there. So you kind of have to build it yourself. A regular curry with chicken was $13.95. And then you can add other things like a fried egg, even other proteins and the veggies that I mentioned, all for an additional charge. They also have Japanese udon noodles, which I think I would add on another time or do as a side, as well as a whole menu of ramen. So lots of options to try. If one of those isn't your fave, you can try something different on the menu. Once you kind of add it all up, it does get a little pricey, but honestly, like what isn't these days? It's freshly made good food. So give it a try. That's Zen Curry Dining, and we hope you'll let us know if you try it. If you have a recommendation for a restaurant or dish for us to try, send us a message at theperfectbite@ccculb.com. We're always open to new ideas. So they say you can't read a book by its cover, but next up, we'll get a crash course in frugality from the wealthy. I think I need some tips. What do you got for us, Crystal?
Well, some good tips. So a few months ago, I read that Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, football player, was sharing that the whole diva and flashy persona he put out there was actually more of a stereotype and wasn't actually how he was. In fact, he was very financially responsible, and in retirement, he maintains a net worth of $15 million, whereas some of his counterparts have filed bankruptcy and things like that. So are you familiar with Chad Ochocinco?
I've heard of his name, but I do not follow his.
Yeah, I don't really follow him either. His name stood out, and it was always like, oh, like Chad Ochocinco's like, and he was like this diva and, kind of flashing around this and that. And you just kind of saw him as this really cocky guy that maybe he didn't make the best decisions, but it turns out he did. So, according to Yahoo Finance, Ochocinco stashed away 83% of his NFL salary. Ochocinco, this was pretty cool. He wore fake jewelry from Claire's. So if you saw him in like a gold chain, fake.
You mean where I took my 8-year-old to get her ears pierced?
Exactly.
Oh
Exactly. They had all the bling he needed. And he only ever leased his exotic cars. And when he flew on budget airlines to save money. So I guess it was like, Flying Spirit or Frontier, things like that. That's what he would do.
How did he fit in Spirit and Frontier?
He's not a very big man.
Really?
No. He might be tall, but he's not. Well, maybe I guess his legs would be tall then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know his dimensions. But yeah. So he flew budget. Another cool thing that this is just like unbelievable to me, kind of. But he admitted to living in the Bengals stadium for 2 years just so that he didn't have to rent or buy a house. He was like, why would I go anywhere?
He was a squatter at the stadium.
They have a bed in the back for me.
Yeah. Wow, that's dedication.
So, yeah, he's still making that NFL paycheck, stashing away his cash. And I think it's, it was really smart of him. I don't know if it was like something that maybe a mentor or a family member told him, but the career of an NFL player is not long lasting. You're not going into your 40s and 50s.
It's rare to go multiple years.
Right. So you got to save up some of that money. And that's just what he did. A quote from that article said, "Everybody's caught up in image, looking a certain way and being rich." He said, "It's pointless." And I guess, in a way, yeah, what's all of these fancy cars and diamond rings and, things like that going to do 5 years down the line if you spend all your money on all that stuff? So he planned for the future. So based on this news story that was kind of buzzing around, here are a few tips from the super rich that you can incorporate into your spending and savings. The first tip was to don't be ashamed of bargaining. So rich people didn't get rich by spending their money mindlessly. One habit that rich people have is that they aren't ashamed of bargaining where it matters. Where you're buying a house, or whether you're buying a house or a car, simply picking furniture from a store, always bargain. You'll often be able to knock off 10 to 15% off the price of a product simply by asking. Have you ever bargained for a good deal?
Yes, I have a knockoff purse in Italy. No, we did. We actually bought furniture recently, and I'd heard that before, that sometimes furniture you could negotiate. And so we bought a couple different things. And so I think, what did we do? We got a little bit off, but also free shipping and free delivery.
Oh, okay.
And then that was supposed to be like, I don't know, 150. We just sort of asked. And sometimes, yeah, you're like, if you can afford this thing, why do you need to bargain? But it's like, well, why not?
Yeah, if you can save. Exactly. It doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah. So bargain where you can, even if it's for that big house or a car. I've definitely seen that, even the car salesman, when they're trying to get you into the deal, if you go onto a lot, which we don't at Clark County Credit Union, but if you
Members
do,
Auto.
if you do, they'll come out and they don't tell you the upfront price. It's like, what do you want how much do you want to pay? And so they go negotiate that, and you don't see, what all the add-ons were, so you can negotiate with that, bring that number down. Next thing on the list is to live below your means. So we've mentioned this before, but to be a millionaire, you must often always live below your means. And if it makes sense, use public transportation and often cook at home instead of eating out. Such discretionary choices can reduce your expenses by 15 to 20%, depending on how much you spend at the moment. And I would say, definitely with like the cooking at home thing, I know we talk about food every podcast, but we take turns. And for me, I put that into my monthly budget. There was a time when I was eating out like fast food for lunch, sometimes again at dinner and things like that, and really just blowing money when I could have spent that same money and made meals way out, and versus just that one-time thing. So you do really save. So keeping an eye on that stuff will help reduce costs. Next thing on the list is to don't waste money showing off. So don't keep up with the Joneses next door. One good habit of rich people have is that they don't show off. Young money can be seen from a distance because it is loud and wants to show off. The truly wealthy, however, are deceptively low key. They dress normally and drive around in comfortable but inconspicuous cars. Some good examples of this are Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and I think one that we're all familiar with is the owner of Facebook, right? He's always wearing the t-shirt and jeans. Like there is no flashiness going on, but I'm pretty sure he can afford. Yes, he's a very wealthy man. Next on the list is to spend on experiences. So how rich people think is, of course, different from most of us. They don't waste money on things that, as we've discussed. Instead, what they do is spend their money on experiences. Whether it's bungee jumping, river rafting, kite surfing, or something else, rich people often will buy experiences. So the memories are worth more than buying a whole lot of new hot gadgets. So try spending some money on an experience instead of things. I think I've definitely tried to do this as my kids have gotten older. There's only so many things you can buy, and as they get older, it's harder. So experiences are a huge gift. You have to travel, even as simple as going to the movies. That's an experience. We went and saw that movie there. And then the last recommendation from a list of 10, which we'll include in the show notes that we're going to talk about, is consult with a wealth coach. So all things said and done, an expert is an expert, which is why you should talk to a professional wealth advisor. And if you're worried about the expenses, here's some good news for you. You can usually receive a free consultation from your financial institution. For example, Clark County Credit Union's Investment Center is a great example of this. You'll get honest investment advice and guidance at every step of the way. And now we'll take a break to hear from our sponsor.
Clark County Credit Union members have received more than $73 million in bonus dividends since 2001 just for using the credit union services they need every day. Since CCCU is owned by our account holders, they earn the dividend, not shareholders. This year, we returned a $2.6 million bonus dividend to members with auto loans, credit cards, and checking accounts. Open an account today and start earning your own bonus dividend. Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
Next up is our Future Self segment inspired by the Happiness Project. Summer is around the corner, and enjoying the summer break with your kids may require some planning. I used to never look forward to summer because when you're working full-time, that means you're now in charge of
everything,
the day, all day. But the older my kids get, I actually do look forward to it. I want to spend more time with them and just less stress on the schedule, more downtime. I'm looking forward to it. So today we're going to share some tips on how you can effectively plan your summer break with the kids and actually enjoy it. So I do want to say a little warning, don't beat yourself up if you don't do all these things. These are some great suggestions. Maybe pick a few to try and you're still a good mom. So number 1, create a monthly calendar. And I've done this before and seen my friends and family members. You put a calendar in your house, like a summer calendar where it's visible so all the kids can see it too. And then you list out activities scheduled for the month and even ask their help filling in ideas. So maybe we do like a summer wish list of all the things we want to try to do. And then put it into the calendar of what we're actually going to accomplish. So getting everybody's input. So maybe you get your one thing that you want to do this summer. So number 2, involve your kids in house chores. Yes, please. They are home, which means they're making more messes and you're cooking more food as well at home. So create tasks that are age appropriate and explain to your kids like, hey, if you want that screen time or you want that treat or that activity, you need to do the chores in the morning and then the afternoon you can do the task or whatever system you create, making sure that they're still participating in those household chores. Number 3, give each day of the week a theme. And this sounds lovely and possibly difficult. Have you ever done?
I have not. I know we do stuff for social media, but in my real life, day to day, let's see what this is.
The one thing I've done before is Tuesdays they would have cheaper movies.
Oh yes, I know. Okay. Tuesday discounts. Yes.
So we would say, okay, Tuesday we're all going to go see a movie, or
we're actually doing that next week.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. See, you're doing it already. Let them choose and plan a theme if you want. Ask the kids, like, is there something you want to go, out hiking on one day, or movies on Tuesday, wherever the discount is, and just have something to look forward to. I think that helps the summertime pass and you're like getting excited to look forward to that day. Number 4, enroll them in a summer camp when possible. And I'm here to tell you, you should have done that yesterday because these summer camps do fill up really fast, but it's such a great way for the kids. They stay busy. It shakes up the long weeks of summer. I did a writing camp for my daughter, like creative writing that she really enjoyed. And we usually do 1 or 2 sports camps as well. Have you done summer camps?
I did it one time, but it wasn't it wasn't organized like that. It was like through the YMCA. And so it was kind of like you had a catalog of, this will be like kids activities. And so I would drop them out there and then I would go use like their gym. And it was fun. It was a fun time for them for sure.
Yeah. Learn something new and learn a new skill. So just find a camp that you think might best fit your kid's schedule. But like I said, sign up as soon as you can. There's a couple websites I've seen For Las Vegas camp specifically, I even saw a billboard the other day that was sign up now. So there's lots of good resources out there. Like you said, YMCA has some. The rec center for the city, Henderson, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, all have great classes for the summer. And lastly, number 5, keep a summer adventure bag in the car. And I do this, and I suggest it highly, especially because you never know what might happen. You want to be prepared. So essentials could be things like sunscreen, towels, bug spray, hats, a picnic blanket, and more. I would even say, we have water in there. In the summer, it does get hot, but just it's good to have some water no matter where you're going. So just a few hours of planning can help you be more intentional about your summer. And I think that means it's also going to be more fun and rewarding.
Yeah, I can't wait. We want to hear from you. Send us your financial questions or money topics that you'd like to learn more about. And don't forget any fun local food recommendations. Our email is theperfectbite@ccculv.com.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode, brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. For additional money management tips and financial calculators, check out our website at ccculv.org. Now that was The Perfect Bite.